Maybe there are some who will think, why make a video about such an old shoe? And why does it have no laces? This particular pair of shoes means a lot to me. I've mentioned it several times on my little channel. But in 2018, during an Ironman training, a dog ran out in front of me. And I suffered a very serious brain injury and will never be normal again. And I felt that my life was over because I would never be able to run again. Perhaps I should mention that I was extremely serious about my training back then, and I tried to train in the same way as a professional triathlete. You probably have to take the data with a grain of salt, but my Garmin watch said at the time that my VO2 max was around the late 70s. Here is how it looks today, but I hardly run anymore compared to then and only cycle once a week approximate. If I hadn't had my accident, I would have definitely invested in one of these, because I was a really bad swimmer compared to the level I want to be at. The reason I say all this was that back then training filled my whole life. I wasn't on any social media back then. I simply didn't have time for that. And try to imagine being used to exercising several times a day. And then straight away I couldn't do it anymore. It was really hard mentally. And it was actually several times that I considered taking my own life. I didn't feel there was any meaning to life anymore. But when I got these Alphaflys, which at this time was by far the best shoe to protect against the shocks you get when running, then a week later I could run 10 kilometers under 40 minutes again, after not having run for 2 years. Here is it important to say that I had problems with my head at the end. I'm sick. I will be like that for the rest of my life, and every time I have trained I have to rest for an hour or more, regardless of which shoes I run in. But shoes with a lot of shock absorption just help a lot in preventing me from getting a headache so quickly. And I'm probably also a bit lucky that I have a very low resting heart rate, because if my heart rate gets too high, I also get problems with my head. But the reason I'm making this little video is that now they have run 700 kilometers. From now on, I will only use them for special occasions because they are getting worn out. Luckily, I have quite a few other pairs, but this one is just special. And the other day, when someone had criticized my channel and said I was terrible at making videos, I ran this race in them. It must be said that I hardly run right now because of my head. But I was mad, and Daniel Beckgaard, one of the world's best triathletes, says it very well here in his video.
So fuck him, and to everybody, don't listen to anybody. The naysayers will always be there, and use it as motivation instead. That's what I've done.
Even though I have a brain injury and can't stand to train in the same way as I could before, can I still run a little bit faster than most average runners at my age? I make YouTube because I think it's fun, even if I'm not good at it. There are also some who really have a talent for talking about shoes, but not particularly good at running in them. I just think there should be room for all of us, regardless of what level you are at. Today, I only run for fun and when I have a good day with my head, and I have the opportunity to run a little faster. Is it the only time I don't feel sick? But like the old me, even though I'm not at the same level. I also like to admit that I eat far too many chips, sweets, and drink too much Coke. But when you have lived extremely disciplined for many years, and don't have a goal with your training anymore, is it hard to say no? At least for me. And finally, I just want to say it doesn't matter how many negative comments or dislikes my videos get. Then I'll continue my little videos as long as I think it's fun.